So, this message that's coming across is from an old flame, and boy, do they miss you. They have been thinking about you constantly. Like it just kept on coming through. They think about you often. Now, it's important to know that this particular flame was not or may not be that important to you, but you actually ended up being very important to them. And they look at y'all's relationship in like rose colored glasses. So there were things that didn't go well. Doesn't mean it was the worst relationship. It might even have been a little bit uneventful for you, or you're just like, but they see it as so different. And for some reason, they still have access to you. I don't know if you're like social media or if like you all still follow each other, or, it's just, I think that shows kind of how casual it was. It wasn't like this like devastating end, but they have been thinking about you. And they really kind of, the vibe that comes across is like they kind of like idolize you. Like they really think that you are the smartest and the coolest and this and that. But what I'm getting from the relationship though is that's not how they came across in the relationship. I don't think that it was they were bad or anything, but it was more like they kind of just, they didn't see you for all of those things you are now when you were in the relationship. There's a little bit of taking you for granted. There was a little bit of like their needs came before yours in it. And so overall it was kind of like a bit of a turnoff, but I think that's why they're kind of obsessed with you. Now, this type of obsession is not the type where like I feel like they're going to go out their way to like stalk you or anything like that. It's not that at all. They just look at you in such a like, oh my gosh, this person, like whenever they think about you, if there's ever a moment that they have to think about you, they're like, oh yes, they only have positive things to say. Like they're giving you your flowers now. Now, had they been able to do that in the relationship, maybe you all would have been a little bit different. Sometimes they even, this is hilarious. Sometimes they even wonder, what if, I don't mean to laugh, but what if this, what if that? Now, this person, I will be honest, you felt that way then. They're a little bit delusional. Okay. They've always been a little bit delusional, very harmless though, but just the amount of, the amount of delusion. Okay. So they may see you in, a kind of way. Sorry, I needed the kitty to come back on. They may see you in a kind of way that is like, oh, it's just not the reality of what your relationship was. There were needs. I'm seeing, as you can see with this memory, just, oh my gosh, they saw you as their protector and this and that. But that's not the vibe I got. Like the vibe I'm getting when y'all were actually in the relationship was not this. But I think that over the years, and it gives me maybe a couple of years vibes, or like maybe just enough time for whatever feels right for you, that they see it for what it was. In that moment, they could not see it. They didn't appreciate you, or honestly, they could not rise to who you needed them to be. They were kind of like, there's a lot of childlike energy here, meaning they may have not been a kid. They may have been very responsible in different areas of their life, but what is coming across was that you were much more emotionally mature for y'all's relationship. Because you were more emotionally mature for y'all's relationship, they finally felt safe enough to feel like the kid that they wanted to be. Now, when you are in a relationship with someone, it is not a parental child relationship. I know people have their kinks, but that's not what I'm talking about. A relationship is an equal partnership in which people bring different strengths to the table, and that you all work through things. You work through life, you troubleshoot things, you have to come together, merging two different lives. But what they loved about you is they were able to finally have this childlike freedom. But what do? Kids throw temper tantrums. Kids are irrational. Kids are erratic. Kids do all those things. So they cannot remember how they were. And sometimes it doesn't even have to be big stuff. It's just like not being able to handle a situation emotionally in a mature way. They see themselves how they see themselves. But they can remember you. And dating other people, because I'm getting this vibe that they had or have a very big or very important relationship in their lives that was totally opposite of you. And so even though there were other people that they've definitely dated throughout the journey, you stick out because they feel like you are the one that got away. They really do. But they can, even to this day, this is not a spin the block. They can't see how your needs were not being met, because this is a huge indicator here that I can't see anywhere here how your needs were being met. Do you get this? You see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm seeing here? Here they are, okay? Here you are. Here's a reflection. You saw things as they really were. They did not see it. So, they're thinking about you really, really tough. You know, if there's a name that comes to mind, it's most likely them. Yep, it's pretty much them. But if you ever wondered, if you were ever curious, like, okay, so what happened, or did they mature? This should let you know that this is validation that you are not in those dynamics with them. Okay. This was not meant to be for you. This was an opportunity for you to see yourself. This was an opportunity for you to grow, for you to become, understand what you need in relationships. They got what they needed from you. You got what you needed from the situation. And it's not to go find somebody and now you become a kid and they become the parent or something like that. It's not that at all. It's to realize what you can take, what you can't take, what you will settle for, what you won't settle for, and what you need from a partner. You were so mature in this relationship and they were not there that they can't even understand why it didn't work out. That's why they think about you today. Even if you had said to them, hey, this and that, this is why we didn't work out, they can't see it. They cannot see it. They look at you with rose-colored glasses. They wonder what's if. Let me tell you, if you ever run into this person on the streets, you will, when I say disrupt their day, they might have a whole meltdown. Now, you may not care at all. Okay. You may speak, you may not speak. It doesn't really matter. But it shows that they didn't necessarily emotionally mature. And you could really tell by the choices and relationships that they made after this. There was some type of very tumultuous relationship that they had afterwards, in a way that it was for the purpose of maturing them. It was for the purpose of, helping them realize that you have to be more leveled emotionally. And it made them do it. It made them mature emotionally. But then instead of really saying like, okay, is this the right relationship for me to be in, the way that you were, this and that, they kind of just think back to you and just like, oh, and for you, for them, it looks like your life is just so great and so grand and wow, like they imagine, what their life would have been with you, and they come up with all these fantastical ideas. But you got to ask yourself, did this person even know you? Did they know what you want? Do they know you now? Has it been a long time? This might be a person who knew you 10 years ago. It might have been a person who knew you a couple seasons ago, and you might be a different person today. Did they really know you? Also, just because someone likes you does not mean that you have to give them the time of day. I know that there are people who are attracted to people who like them. What do you like about someone? That they like me? Well, is that a real reason to like somebody? No, because if they don't like you, or if they stop liking you, or if they mistreat you, you have nothing, So this person may like you. It may feel like nice to be wanted or thought of, but understand that if you ever spent the block on this one, they would go right back to this and be confused and y'all will do the same thing over and over again. But you don't have to. I mean, you have great insight now. But yeah, they're not conniving enough to try to come find you and like put themselves out there. They're desperately hoping. It's funny. I don't mean to laugh at them like this, but it's funny. They're just thinking that you're going to appear and that you're going to rescue them and that you're going to save them. Like the amount of delusion. Now, I will say, I'm just going to take a couple seconds because there is another important relationship that is coming across for you. And this one would have been more of a serious relationship for you. Now, this person is much more conniving and much more cunning. But even in this moment where this person, this old flame is trying to, think about you, this other relationship you had, they're getting jealous. So this person was a jealous person, but they're getting jealous. They don't like that anyone thought of you in that kind of way. And this is how you could tell that this other love, which was actually more serious for you, might have been a little bit more devastating. This is how you could tell they ain't worth nothing. Because instead of being happy for you, for someone to be happy about you, think about you, even though you have no intention of being with them, they don't like that. They don't like that because they fumbled you. Like the old flame, they fumbled you, but it was just like, it was not like the right relationship. This person really did you wrong. Like, this is the vibe that's coming across. They did you wrong and you were there for them in their deepest, darkest times and they just mistreated you. So if there is like this constant history of maybe choosing people who are not emotionally available or emotionally mature, it's when I say emotionally available, they might be emotional, but they may not necessarily be available for you, and you just had to be the pillar here. But you can even see it now where this more serious relationship is acting so kiddish. And so there's one thing when someone's jealous, like I want you to think about me. It's another thing where it's just like they're jealous because someone else is valuing you and they couldn't value you, and they don't want to treat you right, but they also don't want anybody else to treat you right. Horrible energy. We're not going to give them too much more time of day, but I'm so glad that you have been free, because the way that you were able to get away from them, that serious one, was you had to transform almost in secrecy, because every time that you tried to make yourself better, every time you try to release yourself from them, they tried to sabotage you, they tried to pull away your energy, and you did. Because they didn't really pay attention to you, because they didn't really value you, they didn't notice you transforming. And when you did, you took off. And they were really set with those feelings. But these two people kind of mirror each other. They have a lot of twin energy. Just one is like a more extreme version than the other. This is all a lesson on understanding the people who appreciate you. You have to be with people who appreciate you. Also, you should appreciate others. But if there's a disconnect, it should let you know, okay, this is not right. So it starts with understanding that you deserve a certain amount of love. And don't get confused with someone saying they are, or if it looks like it on the outside. It's how someone actually shows up in the relationship that actually matters. And I think that this is lessons that you have learned. But if either one of these two try to spin the block 100%, no, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. They're just using it as a way to not grow up. They're just using it as a way to not go forward. And love for you, whether you're about to have love or you're currently in love, it's much better and it's much healthier. But this actually was supposed to be kind of more of a giggly thing of like, oh, this person keeps on obsessing over you. But then you kind of did have someone who was a little stalkery-ish. And sometimes it's not even people that you dated. That's the crazy thing. It could be people who just blurred the boundaries, and that's what can be scary. But you're at this age where you have to be firm with your boundaries. You cannot let anybody mess with your peace. And the more you are clear, the more people will stay where they're at. They only act a fool if they feel like they can get over on you and you're not that person anymore. So that was the message that came across. I hope that made you giggle a little bit, but that first person at least really does appreciate you. And they actually, the first flame, they actually really want the best for you. They're happy for you. They're a much sweeter version of this, whatever this warp thing is afterwards, but still not a good partner. This warp thing, no, like they're just, I don't even want the energy. I don't even want to talk about them anymore. It is what it is. Leave them where they're at, and you got to be firm with them. You know, if you see the flame in the street, you want to talk to them, you don't want to talk to them, say hi, how you doing, you know, don't you know, entertain anything more, but you could be kind, you know, keep the energy going, like, you know, good momentum of have a peaceful life. But this right here, don't even say nothing to them. They'll misconstrue it. They don't deserve it. They don't deserve your energy. There are some people who will put things on you too. They'll put all kinds of energy on you just because you're nice to them. Ugh, I don't like their energy. Ugh. Well, there's a lot more coming through, but I'm going to leave you with this